What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, man, coming at you with another video. This video here is going to be about Houston Texans head coach Bill O'Brien. Now, the reason why I want to do this video is because I think people get mixed up on what I be saying when I talk about Bill O'Brien not getting fired or Bill O'Brien getting fired. Let me start off by saying this first. I'm not for him getting fired. I'm not for him not getting fired, if that makes sense. It don't make no difference to me neither way. And let me explain what I'm saying. I'm going to throw out three examples. Number one, look at last season. Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Brown, both fired their coaches. Now look at them. Not having a better season than what they had when they had their coaches. Third example, Gary Kubiak. When we had Gary Kubiak, a lot of people were saying fire Bill O'Brien. Fire Gary Kubiak because he's not doing a good coach. He passed up on Peyton Manning. All that good stuff. All that good stuff. Now, us getting Peyton Manning, that's a whole nother topic. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about firing Bill O'Brien. Now, Gary Kubiak got fired. Guess what he did? He went to another team, won Super Bowl, that's not as talented as the Texans are. Nowhere near as talented. So, with all that being said, though, Bill O'Brien, him getting fired, do I really want him to get fired? Like I said before, it don't make me no never mind. He gets fired, cool. If he don't, cool. It is what it is. Because me personally, I don't put the blame on the head coach for the players not producing. I put the blame on the players. And let me explain what I mean. Whenever we win, nobody talks about firing the head coach. Nobody ever talks about, well, the head coach got to go. Only when they lose, and most definitely when the team gets blown out. That's really when somebody talks about it. On a loss, or even bigger, in a huge loss, is when people say fire Bill O'Brien or fire the head coach, period. From any team, any sport. But nobody seems to say that when the team wins. The most I've seen people say is something like, well, he saved his job for another week. Well, that was a good play calling by the coach there. Stuff like that. Now, once again, like I said before, if he gets fired, fine. If he don't, fine. I know he might. I've said it plenty of times in my videos that if we don't make the AFC Championship, that he's gone. I already know he's finna get fired. He knows he's finna get fired. I believe every damn home game, he goes into his office, he takes a couple of things home because he know he's finna ready to go. So, like I said, I brought up three good examples right there. When we had Gary Kubiak, a lot of people were saying, we should have fired Gary Kubiak. We did. After the man had a mini stroke or a mini heart attack, whatever it was, he collapsed on the sideline. We ended up firing him a few weeks later at the end of the season. So, and guess what he do? He go back to where he originally started, become the head coach in Denver, and win a Super Bowl. And that team wasn't nowhere near as talented. Hell, that year, Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions. It was the defense that carried that team to a Super Bowl. And Gary Kubiak is offensive minded. He is a former quarterback, a former backup quarterback to John Elway. So all I'm saying is this here. Every time I say something about Bill O'Brien, people jump to conclusion. People say, oh man, you don't want the coach to get fired. I never said I don't want him to get fired. I said it don't make me know, never mind, if he gets fired or not. That was my words. And that's going to continue to be my words on any coach that we ever get, whether it's basketball or football, because those are my only two favorite sports, or because I don't really watch baseball or anything else, hockey or nothing like that. But that's the only thing. Look, we can fire a coach. There's been teams that fired their coach and And like I just said, he goes to win a championship. There's been teams that fired their coach and still haven't done anything. I mean, for example, look at the Detroit Lions lately. What was it? I want to say it was like 2009, I think it was. Detroit Lions went 0-16. Still haven't done nothing. Still haven't done nothing since then. Now, y'all tell me how many head coaches they went through. I mean, they got a decent record. I believe they are 5-5 this week. I gotta look at it again because I know they just played the Cowboys and they lost to the Cowboys. I forgot their record, but anyway, they still not doing that good. No, they got to lose a record because they are 4-3-1, something like that. I know they tied one game, but anyway, but y'all get where I'm coming from with that. I'm just bringing up scenarios, and I know there has been time to where the team will fire coach, and a couple of months later or a couple of seasons later, is what I meant to say, they'll start winning again, like what the Cowboys did with Jimmy Johnson. I know that, but there has been more things going on when you fire your head coach. Now you're taking a chance on this head coach, this new head coach, which I know is always going to be a gamble. I know that. But all I'm saying is this here. You fire your head coach, you bring in a new guy. That new guy more than likely is going to want his own system, his own players, his own coordinators, his own everything. I don't, in this situation, I do not really think that the problem is with Bill O'Brien. My personal opinion, I think the problem is with the O-line coach and our defensive coordinator. That's just what it is. That's just what I believe right there. Because it's been too many times that defense has let us down. Uh, and it's been too many times that our offensive line has let us down. So the only thing that I'm basically saying here is this here, and I'm going to say it again. I know I said it 100 times before, but I don't care. I'm going to say it again. If Bill O'Brien gets fired, okay, he gets fired. Okay. If he don't get fired, okay. That's how I feel about it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That's how I feel about it. I'm not saying we should. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I just want to know this one question. Like I said, and I never really get a true answer. I never do from anybody. I'll say it, and I'm going to say it again. And this is with any sport, not just the Houston Texans. This is with any team, any sport, any whatever. The first thing people say when the team is losing, fire the coach. But when the team is winning, nobody says that. I have yet to hear that. Let me phrase it like that instead. I have yet to hear. And I'm not a big social media guy, so I don't go on social media. But every time I watch a YouTube video or somebody comes and talk to me about it, because I have a coworker of mine who's also a Texan fan, he's big into social media, and he will say that people will say, fire the coach, or when we lose, or when we win. Nobody says that. He even says that. So the thing is this here, man. I think the blame should be put more on the players. And let me explain why I'm saying that. Because when we win, for example, against the Chiefs, against the Raiders, no, the Raiders did get a sack. The Jaguars did too. But they only got one sack in the Raiders and the Jags. The Chiefs did not get a sack. Atlanta didn't. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I can't think of them all right now. But when they don't get sacks, when the offensive line do not give up sacks, and when we win these games, whether it's a dominant win, whether it's a comeback win, or whether we hold on to win, nobody says anything. See, against the Chiefs, when we beat the Chiefs, nobody was talking about fire Bill O'Brien. When we beat the Raiders, nobody was talking about fire Bill O'Brien. I heard people say in that one that Bill O'Brien saved the job for another week. When we went to London and beat the Jaguars, nobody said fire Bill O'Brien. But when we lost to the Saints, when we lost to the Colts, when we lost to the Panthers, and right now against the Ravens, everybody's talking about fire Bill O'Brien. I mean, It got to be consistent across the board is where I'm getting at. It has to be consistent across the board. Either you want to fire it or you don't. It can't be when it's good or it's great. When it's bad, get the hell out of here. Like you treat your girlfriend. When she giving you some loving or you love her, blah blah blah. When she don't want to give you no loving, you want to break up with her. That's not how this thing works. Either you're gonna commit or you're not. That's my point. And for me personally, in this situation, I watched a lot of these games. Have I watched every single Texans game this season? No, it's been a couple of that I missed, and there's been a couple of them that I only caught a part of the game. You know, excuse me. But from what I've seen, I think the biggest problem is our offensive line. And today against the Baltimore Ravens was says it all. 7 sacks total, 6 on Watson, 1 on AJ McCarron. Excuse me, not AJ McCarron. I'm sorry. Or the backup quarterback. I want to say Brandon Whedon, but I know it wasn't Brandon Whedon that came into the game. Uh, but give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what his name is. Yeah, it was AJ McCarron. I was wrong. So 1 on him, 6 on Watson. And Watson is a scrambling quarterback who can get away from a lot of pass rush. AJ McCarron, no, he's not. The thing is this here. This is how I look at it, and I'm going to say it again. I know I said it 3 times before, but I'm going to say it again. When a team wins, nobody says fire. Let's go back to 1989. Dallas Cowboys, new owner Jerry Jones, fired legendary head coach. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Tom Landry. Now, a lot of people could refer to that day as the Texas Massacre. Firing Bill O'Brien. But at the end of the day, man, all I'm saying is this here. The Texans is not going to be as dominant as you think they are, just because we fire our coach. Like I just said, I gave a couple examples. Gabe Kubiak we fired him. Matter of fact, he was going to get fired before Wade Phillips came and improved the defense. So that should be a prime example right there of what I'm saying. It's not always the head coach. Sometimes there got to be changes made under that head coach, like the defensive coordinator, offensive lineman, wide receiver coach, special teams coach, whatever. Sometimes it's a player or two that needs to, be let go. It's not always the coach. And I'm not saying in this particular moment that it is or it's not the coach. I'm just saying sometimes we need to rethink this and don't always say blame the coach. So, bottom line is this here, and I'm going to say it again. I know I said it 100 times. I don't care. I'm going to say it one more time. If Bill O'Brien gets fired, okay, cool. If he don't get fired, okay, cool. Do the players want to play for him? So far, I haven't seen nothing that says that they doesn't. It is what it is. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Leave me a comment below. What you think? Did I say something wrong? Did I put something extra in your mind? Did I change your mind? What? Just let me know. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. I'm just trying to state my point. At the end of the day, guess what? It's the players on the field that's producing. And I know people are going to say it's the coach's job to put the players in the right position to win game. It's the coach's job to have these guys mentally ready, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Sometimes it's not always the coach's job. It's the player's job. How many people on your job you seen come to the job, the boss gets them ready, tell them this is what's going on, this is what we got to do, blah, blah, blah. But yet still they go out there and they fuck up. You'll blame that person. You're not going to blame the coach, or excuse me, in that case, the boss. Your boss, you're going to blame that person for, I don't know, getting on the forklift. I'm just throwing something out there. Getting on the forklift and running into a brick wall. Just throwing something out there. I know that's a dumb scenario. I'm just throwing something out there. Your boss don't tell because common freaking sense not to do it. Anyway, like I said, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. This is your boy Man Up. I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here. You was in the man cave. Now I gotta kick you out the man cave. Holla.